It's the SKOR North Twin Show.
All right, how are we feeling? Can you guys just summarize the last 48 hours since the Royce Lewis injury? What's been the vibe on this show? I need the download. I've not been able to listen with my travels.
Oh, it's gonna absolutely shock you that Declan's been more optimistic. I am concerned about the entire thing. I wouldn't say I'm freaking out. Hamstrings scare me because hamstrings reoccur and there can be problems. But I wouldn't say it's freaking out. But I mean, look, if Correa and Royce Lewis can't play in the playoffs, they're probably just done. And if they can, they're probably in decent shape. I mean, I'll continue to say this. Royce Lewis changed entirely how I feel about this team. So, as he goes, so goes this team, in my opinion, in the playoffs. But as Declan has said, and he's right about this, fortunately, there is a nice little runway here for guys to hopefully recover. I hate hamstrings because I feel like they're the type of thing that can reoccur pretty quickly.
But is it a hamstring? Is it a heel? Is it who's
both.
Telling the truth here? That's also what I want to know.
It's both a hamstring and a heel.
Yeah. So he claimed that when in Cincinnati, I think it was the 6th inning, the night he got hurt, he said it was the heel that bothered him running to first base. He then said it was the hamstring that went when he fouled that pitch off. Now, I'm not buying it. I think it's the hamstring, but I do believe he has a bad heel as well.
He's overcompensating for the heel being sore, and then he pulled his hamstring is what it's. I never went to school to diagnose any of this.
Probably accurate.
That's what it sounds like. Okay.
Probably accurate.
I've had that happen, yeah.
Well, okay, so I bring to you then, it's a good segue for a little Feedback Friday edition here of the SKOR North Twin Show, where we just want the Twins to win a playoff game. And if they keep losing their key players to leg injuries, it's going to be more difficult to do that. But the first question, you can always hit us up, by the way, throughout the week on the YouTube channel, the SKOR North YouTube channel. Click that subscribe button and the like button, please. And also the SKOR North app is a great place. You can submit feedback, comments. We'll get to an Immaculate Grid later on. Daniel Larson on YouTube says, bring up Brooks Lee. It's time. Andrew Jones played hero at 19 in the playoffs. Time to see what we got in Brooks Lee, who, by the way, is much older than 19. What is he, 23? 22?
22.
Somewhere in there.
Yep, 22.
Brooks Lee, over his last 25 games at AAA St. Paul, is batting .248, .331 on base, .457 slugging. So the hits that he's getting are doubles and home runs, a couple of triples over the last 3 weeks. Would you consider this? Would you consider if one or both of Correa or Royce Lewis likely won't be available or anywhere near full strength for that wild card series, would you bring him up?
I'd consider it right now. I do it right now to potentially provide insurance. I think what we've seen in Brooks Lee is he's a hell of a baseball player, but not surprisingly, I think when he's gotten, so every time he's graduated, if I'm not mistaken, to the next level, he has struggled a bit, which a lot of guys do, but then he's very quickly settled in and played well.
Yeah.
So I would do it right now. Yes. Now, do I expect him to replace Royce Lewis and what Royce brings? No, I don't. But I'll go back to in the Astros playoff series, the one thing the Twins did that pleasantly surprised me. Of course, they pissed it away. But the one thing that they did was they brought up Kirilloff and he got a hit. And so, yes, I would do it. I would do it today and say, hey, you know what? And we are seeing teams now that there's actually incentive to promote prospects, especially top prospects. We're seeing teams do this. So it's not like the Twins would be on this island of, oh my God, they did something no one is doing. Yes, I would do it today. And because I think that is a very proactive type of idea that I like.
With the Twins on the verge of clinching, is this in a way a champagne problem? That if they clinch and they're playing meaningless games, that they can have 10 days here or so to just kind of rest their starters, bring up your top prospect, let them get comfortable, and then if he is starting to perform a little bit and you have to make that playoff roster decision, and maybe Correa, to your point, or Lewis is not ready for the wild card round series, then I think it makes sense. I'm under the basis of, after tonight when the Twins clinch, that this is basically the AAA St. Paul Saints, for the most part, playing a lot of games for the Twins over the next 10 days. regardless if Loris Lewis and Carlos Correa were injured or healthy. Now, I'm not saying you rest them for a week and a half because baseball is different like that. You can't just be on your butt for 2 weeks. But for the most part, I want a lot of other guys just getting rest as it is. So yeah, bring up Brooks Lee. If you clinch tonight and you need some time at shortstop, I mean, Kyle Farmer's respectable is even probably putting it kindly at short. Bring up Brooks Lee, see what you got now.
Like, what's the downside? I think that I would start there. What is the downside? You clearly have injured key players here. Let's say you bring them up in the neck. Let's say you clinch tonight, right? Because your magic number is 1. The Guardians decided let's keep this thing going into Friday. We will kindly let the Twins celebrate in their own clubhouse in front of fans and stuff. So that'll either happen tonight or sometime probably tomorrow. If you bring him up and he plays for parts of the last week and a half of the season, and Correa and Royce Lewis are back, they're healthy. Okay, well then you just don't put him on your playoff roster, Brooks Lee, right? Mm-hmm. But if he comes up and you get him acclimated and he's in the big league clubhouse and he's taking some major league at bats and he gets maybe some of those nerves out of his system, and man, Royce Lewis's hamstring, it's just not going to fire for that first wildcard round. Like, then you put him on your playoff roster. Unless I'm missing something here, I don't know that there's a downside to clinch first, like Declan said, clinch first, and then take a look at the next 7 days and see, what your health situation is. But I don't know that there's a downside to calling Brooks Lee. People might argue, is there like a service time clock starting argument? I mean, at this point, there's only 10 days. Yeah, there's only 10 days left in the season anyways. So,
right. And I believe the rules now, and this is why top prospects are being called up a lot. I believe the rules now incentivize teams in the new collective bargaining agreement to actually call guys up. So yeah, I don't see a downside. It'd be great experience for him. And again, if Royce Lewis has a hamstring problem and can't play, and Brooks Lee shows an iota of being prepared to play here, to me, it's all upside.
Yeah.
Last thing on this too, because I know he had some time, I believe, with the Cardinals in 2019, but Randy Arozarena for the Rays on that magical 2021. Remember that? He had like 10 home runs. I think he even set a record for home runs in a playoff run or something, or was pretty close to it. Yeah. He got called up with the Rays in August 30th, or that pandemic shortened season. He got called up on August 30th, played all of September, and then was there just catalyst in a team that nearly won the World Series over a loaded Dodgers team. Yeah. So there is precedent here to suggest that you can call up top guys and they can perform right away. So I wouldn't be shocked at all if this type of thing could happen.
And then maybe one of the other arguments is you throw him into the fire in the middle of a playoff run and it's just a little bit too much for him. He's not quite ready for it. Okay. I mean, then he's just, then the season's over like a week. Is it going to ruin him? Right. Let's say he comes up and, oh man, he struck out 4 times in a wild card game, or he struck out 9 times in 12 at bats in his first 3 or 4 major league games at the end of September, and you just decide, it's a little bit too much for him. Which, by the way, I don't think that would happen with him because he's a good hitter. Okay, well, that didn't work well, but it was only a couple games, and now you get the whole offseason to. I don't think there's any downside here. So. The only way I wouldn't do it is if both those guys come back, Correa and Lewis, and they're ready to rock and roll, and there's just no room in the middle of the infield for Brooks Lee. Okay, KZ Bay on YouTube says, I am 50 plus years old, and I have a job where I am far more active than these baseball players are. I'd like to know what that job is. Baseball's not the most active sport, but it is a professional sport. Construction? Okay. Is it?
Lawn care? I don't know.
It could be.
Lawn care, you're pushing them more around. They get injured far more than I do. I haven't missed a day of work due to injury or illness in 14 years.
Wow.
Why are professional players of all sports so fragile? I think they've reached the limits of their conditioning to where muscles, tendons, ligaments, etc. can't handle the constant day-to-day work. I mean, it's possible KZ Bay just has a better training staff at wherever he works too.
Or more likely he doesn't have one, and so he plays through the pain and doesn't even acknowledge it. He's just
there's no MRI machine at
He's just
KZ
tougher
Bay's
than
office.
these guys. Like his hamstring hurts, and he says, "F it, I'm gonna keep doing my construction job or my lawn job. You know what? I'm just gonna keep. I'm a 1950s baseball player. I'm gonna put some spit on this thing and keep going."
Casey Mays running the bases. There we go.
KZ Bay. So, well, I mean, KZ, maybe you should apply to work for the Twins training department. I guess it does seem like the Twins in particular, with Buxton, with Royce Lewis, with other players, it just feels like there's been more injuries and more things than usual. But you could probably look at the NFL right now. Look how many top fantasy players are just out for the season in the first week and a half,
Yes.
I don't know. Tyler Anderson says, this injury of Royce Lewis is just a kick to the groin. He's been so clutch for this team ever since he's been here. I just hope Derek Falvey doesn't trade him in the offseason because he's injury prone. Hopefully he'll be back before the wild card series and get back to his winning vibe like he's always been. I'm going to take this and turn it into a question for you guys. Because he's amazing when he's healthy, but is this latest hamstring injury just sort of validating the notion of, he's just never going to be a guy that plays 140 or 150 games. He's going to be another Byron Buxton.
I think you have to I don't think you can trade him. I think you have to take the chance. And I know the Buxton thing has not worked out and it sucks. But Royce Lewis, both on and off the field, in my opinion, from the sample size that we've seen, has been a transformative player. And I've seen enough in the good times where I'm not trading him because of the bad times. Because the one thing I will give, and I was talking to Declan about this a couple of days ago, and what just absolutely stinks about this entire thing, the one thing I will give Buxton and Lewis is it's nothing to do with their desire. Like, Sano is the type of guy that you probably could have said, oh boy, he doesn't get it at all. Like, if we could get something for him. Yeah. Because my point there is Miguel Sano ate and neglected his game right out of baseball. Like, it's his fault.
Every year it was like, oh, he's lost 30 pounds this year. He's in the best shape of his life.
He's totally at fault. The reason why he does not have a job is because of him. Buxton and Lewis are such catalysts, or were in Buxton's case when he could play. I'm not trading him because from what I've seen, I'll take the bet, I'll take the gamble, I'll risk the stock that if he can stay in the lineup, he transforms my team. And in Lewis's case, I think the clubhouse.
Well, let's talk about also the lulls. So Byron Buxton came up and could not hit for pretty much the first, 300 at bats or so. Like he could not hit at all. He was a great fielder, but it took him a while to really get comfortable hitting, and it was just so inconsistent. There'd be months where he'd rip the ball, and there'd be months where he was borderline unplayable at the plate. Royce Lewis in 70 baseball games is hitting 307. Like there hasn't, offensively with Royce Lewis, there hasn't even been a lull yet. Now, you can make the case of the freak injury in center field last year, now this hamstring injury. Like, that's what the point that this guy's trying to make. But when Royce Lewis has been on the field, he has been a masher at the plate and incredibly clutch, where people got frustrated with Buxton right away because he couldn't hit, which I don't necessarily agree with. But there's been no real lull, in my opinion, in Royce Lewis, which is probably why I need to be more patient with this and just kind of chalk this up to a fluky injury.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because, he's had, 2 ACLs. He's had the hamstring. I think he had something else. He's on the heel, whatever it is. Paul Molitor spent the first 8 to 10 years of his career in Milwaukee mostly constantly on the injured list, and then just became durable. Now he moved to DH, which I think helped his durability in the 90s, and then he played until he was in his early 40s. So sometimes it's bad luck. Sometimes Byron Buxton, it's partially bad luck. It's partially genetics with him. How much of it with Royce Lewis is just, there's a little bit of bad luck in here. You had a weird thing in center field playing there for the first time, versus you're going to be dealing with something, hamstring, knee, something all the time. But do I think it's worth moving off of him because you don't believe he can stay healthy? No, I'm kind of with you guys. You have to sort of play this out and cross your fingers. Razorbacks 1 on YouTube chimes in here and says, Bailey Ober Game 3. Why the hate, Declan? He's been the most consistent pitcher on the team, not named Sonny or Pablo. Declan just has a bromance with Joe Ryan. You guys talked Joe Ryan earlier this week on the show.
We did, yeah. We discussed the fact of who should start Game 3. I'm on the basis that I'm still giving Joe Ryan the benefit of the doubt for Game 3. Now, if Ryan runs into trouble, you can handcuff him to Kenta Maeda, who has experience doing this out of the bullpen. Ober, no. I am not starting Bailey Ober in a playoff game at this point. Ober also has what I like to call Brad Radke disease, where in the first inning he labors and gives up a ton of runs, and if you look at his splits, he really struggles to settle in. I can't have that in a Game 3 decisive game. Even with Joe Ryan having slower or shorter starts, I should say, since coming off the injured list, I was telling Judd this, his strike rate is still pretty much the same. His swinging strike rate is nearly the same. His biggest bugaboo is keeping the dang ball in the ballpark, which is a important ask for him, and he needs to figure out a way not to give up so many long balls. But in general, I trust Joe Ryan in a Game 3 to start over anyone else on this team still.
I'm with Declan here because when we talked to Royce yesterday, he said Maeda should start, I think. And I said, well, I'd rather have Ryan start and Maeda come in if Joe struggles than vice versa. Because I think asking Joe Ryan to come out of the bullpen in any way, shape, or form might not be fair. I mean, he started basically his entire career, as far as I know. Bailey Ober to me, my God. I mean, he's pitched well at times, and good for him. He has stayed healthy and pitched a lot, but the innings pitch scares me now. Like it's at a point where I think it's been proven when you uptick it this much, you're asking for trouble. So I'm with Declan. I'm going Ryan Maeda Game 3. Bailey Ober, personally, to me, does not even occur as an option. That does not mean he won't be good. That does not mean he won't have a higher spot in the rotation in 2024. I think it'd be tempting fate.
For the record, Bailey Ober, since they didn't shut him down, but they sort of like, all right, we're going to send you back down. You're going to take a minute. He's made 2 starts in the last week for AAA St. Paul, 10 total innings, 4 earned runs. The first one was a really good. He had like no walks, I think, in the first outing. He did walk 3 in 5 innings a couple nights ago. But if we'd be such hypocrites to sit here and complain about like the last 15 years, how many times do they run out unqualified starting pitchers that just have no chance, from Brian Dunsing to Randy Dobnak, all these guys that they just kind of put out there. To me, Ober's better than some of those guys, but Ober falls closer into that category. Like Boof Bonzer started a playoff game in 2006. He falls closer to that category than Joe Ryan does. Joe Ryan is a top arm. And if you put it this way, if you get the best version of Joe Ryan, he's going 8 scoreless innings and striking out 10, right? So like I'd rather gamble on that. I'd rather put Kenta Maeda in as a starter before Bailey Ober in my pecking order.
And also in playoff games, like, yes, it'd be great if Joe Ryan goes 7 shutout innings. You're going to have a quick hook. You're going to put a guy on base, and it's a decisive game. You're going to throw in a lefty. You're going to put in Thielbar. Like, you're going to have a quick hook probably in general in a situation like that, too. So, yes, would it be great if a starter can go 8 shutout innings? Yes, but playoffs, the games are played by inning, matchup by matchup. So it's not necessarily, I think, him going shorter starts is a bad thing. You guys are going to get pulled in playoff games maybe earlier than you would think.
Yeah, it's I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if Bailey Ober finds his way on the playoff roster, because if they keep him in, he pitches well. You know, maybe they wouldn't trust him to start a game, but if you're trying to debate between him and a couple other random guys for the last spot in your bullpen, you might choose him, and then he comes in as kind of a, you know, the game's a little bit out of hand one way or the other, and you need some innings, or maybe he gets to extra innings and you need a guy that can go 2 or 3. I could see him filling that role. Mm-hmm. All right, Sam P says, guys, love the SKOR North Twin Show. He's got a few takes and questions here. We're going to go in order. He says, cold weather baseball in the spring is bad, but cold weather baseball in the fall is awesome. And we have not experienced that really in the 14 years of Target Field, right? We've had a couple little like sniffs in the first week of October, but we've never test-driven Target Field in like the middle of October, October.
No, exactly. I would guess that in the times the Twins have made the playoffs since they moved to Target Field, I would guess that the heat lamps that they do use in April a lot have never been used in the playoffs. Like the October game, I was at game 3 against the Yankees in 2019, and as I recall, that was a very nice night. Like that was not a chilly night.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, he's right, and I love his point too, because like when the Twins play on April 8th at home, you're like, why are they home on April 8th, right? It's cold, it's chilly, it's cloudy. Why can't they be like playing in Milwaukee in a closed roof? Or why can't they be playing the Angels? But he's right. When you get that fall chill for playoffs, I love that point.
It is funny because it's probably the same temperature, right? It's like 48 degrees or 42 degrees or something. But because you just came off of 4 or 5 months of winter, you're just kind of salty about it in April. Like, this weather, it sucks. You're just sitting here. There's like 2 people in the crowd because it's April baseball. But in the fall, the weather is crisp. Why can't the weather be crisp in early April? We don't call it crisp.
Yeah, I know.
But it's crisp in October, you know?
It's the same reason we're so quick to wear shorts in April when it hits 55, and it's the same reason we put pants on when it hits 55 in October. Like,
we're excited to put the hooded sweatshirts on in October,
And there is something about that ambient smell of playoff. Like, the Target Fields only had 3 of those playoff games. Think about that. They had 2 games in 2010, and then they had 1 game in 2019. The pandemic season, I'm not going to count in 2020 with the Astros. Okay. Right? There's only been 3.
In front of fans, like
in front of fans,
like a full stadium.
There's only been 3. I've been at 2 of them, but there's only been like 3 true playoff games at Target Field in the fall.
So they did not make the playoffs. I'm trying to rack my brain. 2011 through 2016, they whiffed on the playoffs. They came close in 15.
Correct.
Yeah, Kansas City came here and I think blew their drawers off.
Yes.
With those good Royals teams in 2015.
Yeah. And if it's funny, because if you would have polled the audience going into the 2010 season, which they did win a bunch of games and went to the playoffs, got swept. If you would have said, hey, how many years in a row is this nucleus likely to make a run and go to the playoffs in this new stadium? People would have said, 3, 5, 10. And then 2011 hits, and one of the darkest years in Twins history. So yeah, we've had 3 with fans in the stands populated. We've had 3 games in that stadium, and it's all like the first 5 days of October.
Yep.
Amazing.
Fall weather, though. Fall classic. Crisp. You're right. It's not crisp. It's obnoxious in April. It's crisp. It's the change of seasons.
Yes. Okay, Sam P's next question is, what color do you think the Homer hankies will be this year? It's BS that they banned the white ones. It was a multi-decade tradition for Yankees, Red Sox, Cubs, etc. Or are you saying if it was a multi-decade tradition for those teams, it wouldn't get. So the white ones, they've banned the white Homer hankies, huh?
Oh, I forgot about that. Did we get complaints from
outfielders,
the hitters, or outfilders, or outfielders makes more sense. Yeah, because a pop fly. Yeah, I guess I don't recall that. I'm guessing that they'll stick with they did the Homer hankies in 2019. They obviously, I don't think, bothered in 2020 because fans they did allow a few fans for those Astros games. It was very, very small, and I think they went with red in 2019. I think you got to go with red or blue, right?
Could you go baby blue, the old school baby blue?
But they got rid of those jerseys, so that's a good question. Like I love that, but they got rid of that jersey entirely, which I still miss. So, but I'm guessing you go red or blue. And I'm if red, they go baby blue, I love that idea. That's a great idea, Phil. Okay. Dave St. Peter, go baby blue.
Baby blue. Let's go baby blue.
Come on.
The 2023 team grew on me a ton. Went from impossible to watch to a ton of fun and a lot better of a playoff roster than the 19 squad. Yeah, we've talked about that. Great point, Sam. And then he says Declan should have a live feed for game 1 of the playoffs. We can all watch nervous energy Declan watching a Twins playoff.
Go Barstool. That's a great idea.
I thought about doing this. But like then I feel like it's not organic.
It's not organic.
Because I'm on camera.
Now you're hamming it up, right? Yeah.
I don't know if my fiance is indeed leaving the house that day. I'm still trying to figure that part out. I'm not sure. But
one of my insurances, Declan.
Because one of my best friends, I told you he wanted to get tickets with me, and I was like, I'm probably gonna have to work it, and also I just don't want to be there yet. I can't be in attendance for a playoff game because I get way too nervous. So he said, okay, can I come over and watch it with you? And I said, you know what? Yes, you can totally come over and watch with me because you're the only human being, my buddy Sam, that I said, you can come over and totally watch the playoff game because you probably match my energy and match my angst. So maybe if he's like undiscreetly filming me or something, that would work. But I don't want to be filmed because then it's not organic. Then I'm doing things that I wouldn't be doing probably.
Wait, so you're saying in order to help with your angst, you're going to bring over someone that also has angst? I feel like you're just multiplying the angst. Don't you want someone that's more of a calming presence?
I don't want the calming presence thing. No, I don't want that at all. I want
You're looking to multiply the angst.
Yes, and then also, but I guess it not multiply the angst. If they win, it's euphoric with two guys who have just been so GD frustrated too. So I'm looking at the payoff.
Well, hold on, wait. The last time we talked about this, you said that you had told the gal you can't be home and that you wouldn't allow friends, and now I'm hearing she might be home and you might allow a friend. Like, what happened here? Like, you were so certain last time about, I told her she can't be here. And you also said, I want no one there.
I need to be alone. Yeah.
I need to be alone. Yeah. Warned her that
what happened?
I'm a horrible person and I don't know what she'll. I think she's going to leave. I think it's like a 90% chance she will not be. Her and Vinny are going to go. They will not be in the house.
Is this for all of the games?
At least if they win a game, she's back. She's welcome back. I don't care.
Oh, because then the tension will be relieved.
The tension is gone. Yes.
Dude, no way. That's bad luck. If you find a formula that works for a win after 18 consecutive defeats, you can't bring her back.
That's a good point. That's a good point by Judd.
Because then she's at fault. And so I like your original plan with one small tweak. I think the Vinsters should be allowed to stay. Damn it, that's his house more than yours or hers. That's the Vinsters' house.
It is the Vinsters' house, but I'm gonna be so so angsty, and if I hear a little because he has to go outside or do something, that's just gonna add to my stress level. I'm already.
Do dogs calm you?
Not Vinny.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Not Vinny.
Anyway.
Oh my God. Well, we'll see how this evolves here. Declan has like 10 more days to figure out what his plan is to watch the game and not have his head explode. Gentlemen, if any of you, maybe you're a shortstop or a third baseman and you've got some pain, maybe you've got some joint pain somewhere, I don't know. Summit Orthopedics is here to help you with 25 locations across the Twin Cities and Greater Minnesota. No referrals are needed. They offer same-day appointments. And if you're really in pain, or maybe you've got something a little bit more urgent, like the playoffs are on the horizon, they offer walk-in orthopedic urgent care 7 days a week from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. You can learn more at summitortho.com. Judd, tell the audience, too, here, as the weather gets more crisp and maybe they're in the mood to lose a couple pounds, where should they go to lose weight?
That's going to start at Livia Weight Control Centers, where my friends a couple of years ago, that's exactly right there. If you are watching it right now, guy on the left, guy on the right's the same guy. Guess what? He's down 40 pounds. How? Livia Weight Control Centers, which, by the way, has now been voted the best weight loss program in the entire state 3 consecutive years. There is a reason why. It's because they're not only going to help you drop those unwanted pounds, but they're going to help you keep those pounds off. And have I got a deal for you if you are looking to lose weight? How about this? 3 months free. 3 months for free. That's right. Your weight loss journey starts with 3 months free and then will continue. And I'm going to guarantee you right now, you're going to be happy with the results because they are there. 855-GO-LIVEA, Livia.com, LIVEA.com. They do have centers in the state here. So if you're here, you can go in, get a ton of support. But if you're not, let's say you are a Twins fan in Tennessee, guess what? It all can be done virtually as well. So near or far, Livia.com works for you.
And also, as the weather is getting more crisp, it means that lake season is throttling down, which is actually a good time to trust the world's largest Bennington dealer, Miller Marine and Power Lodge, to protect your passion, protect your pontoon. Winterization specials happening right now at the 3 Power Lodge locations and Miller Marine in St. Cloud. They're offering free storage with the purchase of a new boat, and you get double the value if that new boat is a luxurious Bennington pontoon with unbeatable employee pricing stacked on top of rebates. Yeah, I can see Judd in his little hooded sweatshirt on a fall pontoon ride.
Oh, and guess what, folks? If you want to see the leaves, and I know a lot of you do, if you want to see the leaves, forget driving around in your car. How about this? A Bennington, you take it out and you will get a view of leaves that you've never gotten before. So many ways to have throttle therapy help your Minnesota sports angst.
Yeah, Pontoon Passion starts at Miller Marine and Power Lodge. That's powerlodge.com and millermarine.com. All right, boys, it's time for the Immaculate Grid Challenge here. You guys had a nice rarity score this week.
We did.
Yeah, and then they
60
threw
something.
And then they threw a grid that Judd hates, and we still got it, but it's so hard, and again, it's going to be hard here. So, thanks.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Thanks a lot, Immaculate Gridders. You're doing a great job.
There, so you that's the complaining that you get to do today. We give you 10 seconds to complain about the Immaculate Grid.
I did it.
Declan and I love the grid in all of its shapes and forms.
Dex and I were so proud though because given the opportunity, we killed a rarity score, which was great. Nice. On this one is hard. So anyway,
so
that's
here we're looking to go 9 for 9 here, and can I help you?
Oh no, I just said I'm done. I'm backing off now.
Okay.
Well, you're not.
You're like throwing your hands up and interrupting. You good? Do you want to complain more?
No, let's go.
Okay. We're looking to go 9 for 9. And if we can hunt for obscure players to improve our rarity score, that's kind of a bonus. We're looking for a red who was a Yankee, a red who was a Guardian, and a red who was a Tiger. And then we're looking for a Yankee with 3,000 career hits, a Yankee with 200 strikeouts in a season, a Guardian with 3,000 career hits, and a Guardian with 200 Ks in a season. And then we're looking for a Tiger with 3,000 hits and a Tiger with 200 Ks in a season. I'll put 8 minutes on the clock just for some constraints here. All right, it's a casual 8 minutes. Bob Feller for the 200K Guardian season. We whiffed on the 300K, right? But
I don't remember what that was.
3,000K.
I don't remember. I will say this: Jack Morris had to have 200 plus strikeouts for the Tigers, right?
He did. Wouldn't that be kind of a hot? Do we care about rarity score?
Personally, when it comes to these two categories, I'm not going to get cute. I find the rarity scores. I whiff far more here.
Mark Fidrich. What about him?
I don't know.
Anibal Sanchez was like the lower tier of those really good rotations with the Tigers.
Then guess him. Yep.
I think, yeah. I mean, there's 200 is not that big of a number. There we
2%.
go.
Nice, very nice.
Love it, dude. I mean, the Yankees have so many. Whitey Ford, 200 strikeouts, man. The guys who threw like 300 innings back in the day.
Guidry had to have that, right, back in the 70s when he was Louisiana Lightning.
Ron Guidry.
Yeah. Ford, though, you're probably right there. Like back then, that's just a very common thing, I bet.
You want to go try Guidry or Whitey Ford?
Try Ford. Whitey Ford.
I love how every pitcher back in the day was either a lefty or a Whitey.
6%. Good stuff.
6%.
Nice.
That's higher than
Whitey Ford.
Right,
Look at that guy.
You know, he pitched a lot of innings, but he won a Cy Young. Bartolo.
For 200K innings or 200K?
Yeah.
Bartolo for sure did it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of just the list of. So Bartolo did it. Kluber did it.
Cliff Lee probably did it.
Before he came back to the Twins, would Bert have had 200 in a season?
Bert. Ooh. What about who was the guy? Charles Nagy. Charles Nagy.
Charles Nagy's a good one. Here's a guy.
Do you trust Nagy?
I trust Nagy, but
okay.
I've been wrong before. Do you guys trust Nagy?
I don't know.
Declan, do you know who Charles Nagy is?
No.
No, see, this is surprising again. This is surprising. I'm not going to lie. Charles Nagy is very good.
One of the better 90s baseball pitchers, right? Wasn't he like on those good Cleveland playoff teams too?
Oh, God, yeah. Because he
was the ace of like Cleveland playoff teams.
The ones that went to the they went to a couple World Series in the 90s, right?
Yes, 95 and 97.
Mm-hmm.
Joe, do I have any backing on Charles Nagy? Because we could go Bartolo Colon and we all agree on Colon, but Nagy's more obscure. So
I don't. You know what? Again, when it comes to this, I don't care if we get a rarity score.
So you're backing off Charles. You're backing. I'm alone on Charles Nagy right now.
Charles Nagy was a very good pitcher. I won't be surprised. But guess who you want to guess here? I'm waiting for
Bob Feller.
Oh, okay.
I want Bob Feller redemption.
Okay.
So Bob Feller.
Then do Bob Feller.
All that. Okay. Bob
Rapid Feller. Robert. Yeah, that's fine. I'm fine with that.
17%.
Yeah, we got it. 17%. We should have done Nagy.
A lot of people trying to get redemption on Bob Feller. All right.
So Dontrell Willis was part of the trade that went to the Marlins to the Tigers for Cabrera, and then I'm pretty sure Dontrell finished up with the Reds.
Okay.
Okay.
With this great way, I love as a little leaguer. Are you kidding me? Everyone tried to do Dontrell Willis leg kick.
He was a fun pitcher for a couple of years.
Nice.
Oh, 1%.
Nice.
Nice score.
Cleveland, Cincinnati. Frank Robinson, because he was a player manager.
Puig will be high, but
Yeah.
He would be high. Let's put him. I'll put his name down here.
Yeah. So Frank was a great Red, and then he was, I think at 75, he was a player manager for the Indians at the time. So he would work for sure. He's a huge name, but it's a long time ago, so I don't know that it's going to be guessed by a lot of people.
Did Adam Dunn go to the Guardians ever?
I don't remember him with the Guardians.
I don't remember that at all.
I mean, Sonny Gray would be a Red who was a Yankee.
Sonny would work.
Yeah.
Todd Frazier would work.
Todd Frazier.
The Todd father. Home run derby at Target Field.
Let's do the Todd father. Todd. Probably like a 10%? 6%.
6%.
Okay.
The Todd father.
And then we can knock out the 3,000 hits ones at the end here. But God, there was I feel like there was an outfielder recently that got traded from the Reds.
Oh yeah, to the
Guardians. What's his?
Framil Reyes?
Yes.
Is that it?
I think so.
Wait. Franmil Reyes was
Or was he Padres?
Padres.
Oh, okay. Good to know. Well, we have
He didn't
Puig
play
in our
for the-
pocket, and we have who else did we say?
Who do we have in our
Frank
pocket?
Robinson.
Frank
We
Robinson.
have Frank
and Puig.
Robinson. Okay, let's come back. Oh, you said Puig?
Yeah.
Yasiel Puig? Okay, let's come back to that.
Puig.
Any pitchers? I'm trying to think if there's any pitchers.
There has to be. I mean, there's probably
Oh, God, yeah.
150.
There's
These are
probably
two like
relievers.
longtime franchises.
Yeah,
too.
there's probably relievers.
All right, 3,000 career hit batters that crossed through these organizations.
Wade
Henderson,
Wade
Boggs
Boggs.
for Yankees.
Yep.
So Wade Boggs, Ricky Henderson.
I mean, there's going to be.
Did
Derek
Jeter
Jeter?
get to 3,000?
Yep.
I don't know.
He'd be a higher score
He
than
was
Yes.
a
those.
leadoff hitter. I feel like he did.
Yes, his three. In fact, I believe Derek Jeter's 3,000
was a home run.
was a home run against Tampa Bay on a Saturday afternoon at Yankee
David
Stadium, right?
Price, yeah.
That'll be high. So
Number 2.
Wade Boggs
Wade?
might surprise you because he's a Red Sox legend.
Yeah.
So that might be a good one percentage wise.
He won the World. Yeah, we're good there. He won the World Series in 1996
Nice.
with the Yankees.
10%, yeah.
10, so
Yeah.
solid. All right,
And
Gardos.
then so we need like a Gardo
Eddie Murray?
and a Tiger.
3,000 career hit at the Metrodome.
You know what's funny? So
As
Eddie
a
Murray
Guardian.
he's one of the only 3,000 hit 500 home run players in Major League history. And so like last weekend there was a 40 home run category for one of the teams he played for.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was maybe Orioles or something. And I was like, oh, Eddie Murray had 500 career home runs. He had to have hit 40 bombs. His high was like 32.
Did
He just
Kenny
had 30 home
Lofton-
runs every year.
Did Kenny Lofton get 3,000?
I don't think so.
No.
It's modern hitters do not
Yeah,
get
I
as many
know.
hits because they walk and strike out more.
No.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who else passed through Cleveland. Winfield passed through Cleveland.
Oh,
Winfield's going to be more obscure probably
Yeah.
than
Winfield.
As a Gardo / Indian, he will be.
St. Paul Central Zone.
let's do it.
Yep.
9%.
9%. All right. Tiger 3,000 hits.
K-Line will probably be very high,
Cabrera.
right?
Miguel Cabrera, Al Kaline,
Oh, okay, who had a cup of coffee with the Tigers?
Ty
Who had-
Cobb. Ty Cobb, right? Didn't he have 3,000 hits? How long did he play? Can you type in and see the years?
Yeah. I
Just start
can't do
typing
that.
Ty Cobb.
Type in Georgia Peach.
05 to 28.
Dude,
So
he had
23 years. Really nice guy.
Who else had? Who might have passed through Detroit though and not been a Tiger legend who had 3,000 hits?
Molitor never went to Detroit.
No, Toronto, Minnesota, Milwaukee.
Used. Man.
God, hold on. There has to be.
Well, the 90s Tigers were so bad. They didn't
Yeah.
have good players passing through. And then when
Yeah.
the Tigers got good again in the 2000s, it
Did
was
Victor Martinez get 3,000?
no.
God.
Well, 3,000 hits is.
3,000
Rare
hits
air.
is like there's only like 20 players, 30
We had
maybe.
3,000 strikeouts on it yesterday, and I hate that one. There's like 18 of them total.
Yeah.
Yeah, including
they're
that
all-
Dodgers one.
And they're all named
I whiffed.
Lefty.
I whiffed on that. The Dodgers have had very few guys. I think there were 4 guys who played for the Dodgers who had 3,000 strikeouts.
So we could go Ty Cobb, Al Kaline, or
Yep.
Miguel Cabrera is going to be the biggest
I feel
one.
like
So it's
Kaline is rarer than Cobb and Cabrera, right?
And Judd, you're 100% sure on Kaline?
I am not 100% sure, and I think Cobb might be more rare than Kaline. Kaline, I think people aren't thinking of Cobb. If you're more sure on Cobb, I would go Cobb, because I think that's also not going to be it's going to be high, but I think Kaline might be second to Cabrera. You guys?
Okay, we'll go Cobb.
Okay. Ty Cobb.
26.
20, yeah. So that means there's probably only 3.
Yeah,
maybe 4.
Yeah. Exactly.
Nothing we can do there. And then, for Yasiel Puig, Frank Robinson are the 2 names we have for Guardian, who was a Tiger.
God. Pat, I will get to you. Don't worry. He's calling me.
Pat wants to.
9%.
There it is. 85. That's,
nice.
That's pretty good rarity score there.
Nice.
Pretty
guys.
good.
Nice, you guys. Get your act together.
Pretty good.
Immaculate Grid.
Hey, if you like historical baseball things, which you clearly do because you're hanging out with us here at the end of the Immaculate Grid, we have a brand new section of the SKOR North shop. It's look at that. Oh my God. So skornorth.com/shop, click on collectibles. One of the things you can buy right now is a framed signed photo of Nolan Ryan punching Robin Ventura while putting him in a headlock. How cool would that be in your man cave, in your office? You know, it's pretty badass. 10% off all items in the SKOR North Collectibles store by using the code SKOR, SKOR, at checkout. That's skornorth.com/shop and collectibles. All right, Pat's yelling at us because we've ran long here.
We did.
Royce Unchained, you can find that, and we'll hit you after the Twins clinch sometime this weekend with a State of the Twins episode on Monday.